Hi everyone, my name is Miss Ann. Welcome to another edition of Early Literacy Fun. Early literacy is everything your child knows before they can read. As your child's first teacher, you can help them to build a strong pre-reading foundation by doing fun and easy activities at home based on the 6 skills and 5 practices as outlined in Every Child Ready to Read. Early literacy and language development begins within the first 3 years of a child's life and helps to form this foundation for all future learning. Here's a listing of the 6 skills and 5 practices. Today we will focus on narrative skills, I tell stories, and the practice of talk. Narrative skills and talk are a perfect example of how the 6 skills and 5 practices work together. Narrative skills are: I can tell stories. I can retell stories that I hear. I can tell events in order. I can describe things. I understand stories. And most importantly, I know stories have a beginning, middle, and end. Let's look at some examples and how you can help your child learn this important pre-reading skill. When you hear the word narrate or narrative, you think of speak or talk. But as you will see, narrative skills begin much earlier than this. Think about the way your young child plays with toys. For example, this little girl is feeding her baby doll. She or he will instinctively take the bottle and start to feed the baby. Your child may put the baby doll into a chair or a small seat to feed them. These are all ways a child narrates how to feed the doll. They are telling the story of the baby being fed. As your child does this, say to them, "You are doing such a great job feeding your baby. I bet she really likes that bottle." Another example could be of a child playing with a car or truck. They may put people in the car or drive it around other objects or over or under things. They are telling you the story of how the car or truck works by doing this. Continue to comment and ask questions as they play. Let's look at some other ways to reinforce narrative skills with your child. Knowing that stories have a beginning, middle, and end, and being able to tell events in order is an important skill for children to know before starting school. A simple activity that you can do with your child and continue to do is to read or tell a story and ask them questions. How did the story start? What happened in the story? How did the story end? Here is a story about an apple that I made up. It is very basic and a good way to start. I see an apple. I take a bite of the apple. I ate the apple. As you say each sentence, you can point to the picture. Then ask your child the following questions. What was the name of the fruit in the story? That's the beginning. What did you do to the apple? That's the middle. And finally, how did the story end? Always expand on the questions that you ask your child. You can say to them, "What color was the apple? Do you like apples?" If they say yes, you can ask them why they like apples. You can also print out pictures similar to the ones that I had in the apple story and place them in random order. Have your child put them in order of 1, 2, 3, beginning, middle, and end. Have them point to each picture as they retell you the story of the apple. This is one of my favorite activities for a young child to do. Have them read a wordless picture book to you. Your child becomes the author of the story. The story is what your child sees on the page and how they interpret it. This is the perfect example of narrative skills in action. The Jack Books by Pat Shores is a great series of books to start off with. Here is a page from the book, Breakfast for Jack. Your child might say, "The cat is rubbing up on the boy's leg. The boy is petting the dog. The boy is wearing purple pajamas." You can also ask your child questions as they are telling you their story. Why do you think the cat is rubbing up against the boy's leg? Expanding on what your child says with open-ended questions, not a yes or no question, helps increase your child's comprehension. Here is another page from the same book. Some things your child may say are, the cat is eating, the dog stepped in his bowl, the cat's bowl is pink, the dog's bowl is green. Continue to engage in open-ended questions to expand on the story that your child is telling you. Here are some other wordless picture books that you can check out at hcpl.net. Talking about daily routines helps with narrative skills, sequencing, and predicting. This can be anything from going to the grocery store, the doctor, the park. For example, let's learn the story of bedtime. Take a bath, put on pajamas, brush your teeth, read a story, tuck into bed, give a kiss goodnight, shut the light. As your child becomes accustomed to their routine, you can say to them, "It's time for bed. What do we do first?" Being able to describe stories, pictures, or events in detail is a pre-reading skill that will help your child to better understand and comprehend what they read later on. For example, show your child a pencil or something else that they are familiar with, and then ask them to tell you about it. Can they name it? What color is it? What do you do with it? Point to the eraser end and ask them what it is and what it is used for. Get them to talk about the object and to give you as much information as they can. This is a great example of the practice of talk. Continue to do this with other items. Language learning begins by hearing people talk. As children get older, they follow directions, repeat words, respond to what you say, and eventually use whole sentences. The practice of talk helps support comprehension, vocabulary, and background knowledge. To summarize why narrative skills are important, it helps children learn story structure, learn to predict what will happen in a story, understand what they read, and build critical thinking skills. Remember, you are your child's first teacher. For more information on the importance of early literacy, please go to Every Child Ready to Read and the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation. Thank you for joining me today. Bye, everybody.